100 episodes I have recorded. Inconceivable!
What are we listening to again?
Merc with a Podcast, episode 107. You are listening to Merc with a Podcast, episode 107. I am bound by your contract host, Scott. With me, as always, is my inconceivable host, Corwin.
Hello, everybody.
The Merc with a Podcast is your monthly slave view of all things Deadpool, which is published by Marvel Comics. You can follow your Merc report to us on Facebook under Merc with a Podcast, Merc WA Podcast on Twitter, and email us at hipsterdocken@gmail.com, and Patch will send us your Hellhouse Fax.
Hey, Scott. Did you know that war is a prestigious line of work?
No. All right. We actually have one news item. So you want to get into that? Or actually two news items. Because it's time for the news nobody pays attention to, but we're regurgitating. Corwin, we have two credible items. Item number one, Pirate Deadpool figure has been announced, as well as a Shikla figure with Jeff the Shark.
Two characters that never met, but you know what? I'll still take it.
What, no, Pirate
Shikla
Deadpool?
And Jeff.
Whatever. I'll buy it.
For sure.
Yep. And item number two, ReZero Season 2 will be split into halves. Well, I mean, here's the thing. You have to remember, first it was delayed to the summer instead of the spring. And now the second half is being delayed to January 2021. Well, it's COVID, but I think it's more of it's kind of done, but because everything else got pushed, like for instance, Food Wars is coming back in July after only aired 2 episodes.
I guess.
I think because of all the other shows that got pushed, they decided, hey, let's push this show to December because everything else got pushed around. So we're still getting the first like 12 episodes of like the 24 episodes.
And then the other 12 come the end of the year.
Well, come in January. Yeah.
That's better than nothing.
Yeah, it's COVID at this rate. Like I don't care if things are delayed. I mean, everything is the whole fucking year has been delayed. I'm still waiting for 2020 to kick off. So we actually have 2 Hellhouse Faxes.
Oh, we do? Oh,
yes.
God, they're probably ads. Let's do it.
Nope. Congratulations on 100 episodes, Scott. Well, you finally answered the lingering question in everyone's mind for the past 100 episodes. What do you do for a living? My theory, you're in actuarial science. By David.
What science?
Actuary science.
Actuary, okay.
Here, Corin. I think it's time we reveal what I do for a living.
Serial killer?
Yeah. No, guys. I have a fans only page in which I draw furry porn. There is a hot market for furry porn, and that's what I do for a living.
You sure your job isn't more numbers based like that? Actuarial science is what? Math stuff, right? Risks and stuff like that.
Statistics.
Yeah.
Which I did actually go for college for statistics, but back to what I really do. Guys, I draw furry porn. Now, I'm not saying not to tweet furry porn at me. I don't want you to tweet furry porn at me. I am saying that if you do tweet furry porn at me, it better be of Sharky, the San Jose Sharks mascot, having anax with Gritty. And make sure you also carbon copy those tweets to EMPcast on Twitter.
I don't even know who you're talking about to begin with.
Oh, I forgot. You
No.
don't watch hockey. You don't know who Gritty
No.
is. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I'm not into sports. I don't even keep up with like usual sports, football, basketball.
Oh, I forgot. You live in Orlando. You don't have any sports.
I mean, hey, I used to watch basketball until the first strike.
When was that?
I
1919?
don't know, 90s. Anyway, get on with the Hellhouse Fax. What do we got?
Sorry, I am sending you a picture of Gritty right now. This should just be our album art for the episode.
No.
All right. Okay. Here we go. Next question. Next email. Since it's been 100 episodes of this madness, I was curious. Could we, if we could get some behind the scenes of the show? This is from our good pal Andrew.
Behind the scenes?
You ready? Here we go. Number 1. Do you guys have any inside knowledge on the comics?
No. We are nobody to Marvel, so no.
No. I mean, here's the thing. Like, yes, we are kind of friends with Scott Koblish, I want to say. He doesn't not hate us. I feel like Jordan D. White only follows us on Twitter just because he wants to make sure that we're not bad mouthing him. I mean, Mike Hawthorne is cool with us. That's about it. And we never got a... Who wrote You Are Deadpool? Who wrote that?
Al Ewing, I think?
Yeah, I did tweet at Al Ewing, and he never got back to us. So I'm just assuming we pissed him off at some point. And Jerry Duncan did block me, which he then unblocked me. So I don't know what happened there. But no, I mean, I know people at Marvel, if that means anything. They better be anonymous, but I don't know much about the Deadpool comics.
Yeah.
I mean, like, the shit I know is, like, I ask people, it's like, is it true Pearl Mutter really walked in to Marvel Comics and tore down a signed Fantastic Four poster by Jack Kirby? And they're like, no, who the fuck said that?
Is it true that he had all couches removed out of the offices to save marriages?
What?
You never heard that? He had all couches removed out of the offices in order to save people's marriages. Like, I mean, there's like desks. So what's anyway? Yeah, I've heard some crazy shit too, but I can't tell you how true they are.
Okay, this is this is a true story. The person will be anonymous who told me this. So this is going way back in the 90s. And this is when he used to do cool tours inside the Marvel office. Fabian Nicieza different people would dress up as Spider-Man. So one time Fabian dressed up as Spider-Man to greet the kid. And he punched his dad in the face. Like, so long, kids, and then ran off. By accident. Like, you know, he was kind of like doing like the punches and the kicks in the air. And miscalculated and punched a dude in the face.
Okay.
Okay. Question number 2. How much inside knowledge do you guys know about the Marvel movies?
We have dozens of listeners. We're not important.
Corwin, you said dozens.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Dozens
of listeners.
Or Baker's dozen. Whatever. How should I put this? I know everything about Black Widow. Remember, I know everything that happens in the New Mutants movie as well.
I mean, are they going to release that movie this year is the real question. Everybody wants to
know. Who knows, because of the pandemic.
What about Black Widow? Is that going to be released in theaters this year?
That's still November. I actually knew about the push before the push happened
I'm
this
sure we
year.
all kind of felt it coming.
Wait, no. I knew the new release dates. I was blatantly told, it was like, hey, by the way, yeah, this is like Miss Marvel's not coming out to not coming out to November, and Eternals was pushed February. I knew about that prior. What else do I know? I know why Tim Miller didn't come back for Deadpool 2. I know the true story behind that. Can't talk about that publicly. We'll talk about that off air.
Juicy. No, talk about it now so I can
knew
just
everything.
Just...
Fox did not want. They were going to give Deadpool 2 than the first one, and Fox did not giving Tim Miller. So that's why he was not asked to come back. So instead, that's why like are still good friends and everything. It was just blatantly, we're not going to give film, even though it was successful, load of money. I know, it's anticlimactic. You think it's like a bunch of shit happened. It's like, nah, they just... I also knew about Fox wanting to sell themselves.
Fox wanting to what?
When Fox was going to sell themselves.
Yeah, when Marvel bought Fox.
I knew that back in 2016. I even kind of talked about it, and people were going, Fox is never going to sell their movie studios. Remember that? 4 years later, it's bought by Disney. Yeah, I know a lot of stuff. You just make friends with people at conventions, and all of a sudden, people want to blow off steam, and they just tell you shit.
Well,
anyway,
it's good to know
question number 3. Yeah, like when so let's do the story behind the New Mutants thing. When I broke the New Mutants story, it was multiple people told me about it, and they were really pissed off, and they wanted the public to know what the fuck was going on with that film.
Okay.
That's why I talked about it. Most of the time, I don't talk about the shit that I know. Anyway, question number 3. How much has the pandemic affected the show?
Besides going from one Deadpool book a month to none? That's it.
Yeah, I mean, recording-wise, it's pretty much... Yeah, recording-wise, it pretty much has been the same.
Your new job makes it different with recording at different times.
Well, I had this new job for a year now. My fans-only furry porn job. No, but like, I just been treating this like I know you have 2 jobs. You have your real job, and then you're also a family man. Husband and father. But now you have 3 jobs, which is you're technically a teacher as well now, homeschooling your kids.
And work. I mean, schooling at work with all these damn meetings and updates and what they need us to be doing. It's just...
Oh yeah, no, I was just gonna say. So I just been... You email me when you're ready. I'm not gonna pester you because I know you have a lot on your plate.
Yeah, it sucks.
That's pretty much how much this pandemic has affected me. Affected the show, I mean. What do you guys talk about pre and post show? No, the best was when we basically talked about the Boondocks for an hour. That was the best. Yo, who's gonna play Granddad now? Because didn't the actor die?
He did. Supposedly they're sending him to Grandma, but I haven't really read anything official. But I think they're just
What they're going to have a... He got remarried and they have a grandma, or it's their other parents' mother?
Sick, and then either I don't know if it's gonna be his divorced wife or the other grandmother. I don't know.
Because I'm like, yeah. Did they ever reveal what happened to your parents? Because I know Riley made that mural, but that was about it.
In a car accident, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't think... Well, I mean, the comic strip and the show are kind of two different things, but yeah.
I miss that show so much.
I never watched the quote unquote, the last season that happened.
Got you.
Because wasn't there 4 seasons, I think?
Pretty good.
Yeah, I never watched the 4th season. I watched 3rd, but never the 4th. But I heard the 4th wasn't that good.
It was okay.
Was
it wasn't better than the last couple seasons, but I mean, with the political climate we're going through these last couple years, that show would have just been killing it with the jokes, I'm sure.
Oh my god, South Park is going to be amazing this season.
That show is still going?
Oh my god, every day at work, I'm just picturing, it's like, oh my god, I can't wait to see what Randy's going to be like during this pandemic. What do you mean I have to wear a mask? What else have we touched pre and post show?
Nothing really. I mean, we just kind of shoot the breeze because we don't really talk otherwise until it's time for the show, and then we just kind of slightly fill in on what's going on. But we mostly trade stuff on Facebook and Twitter sometimes. That's really it. Not much. Not much. We say pretty much everything for this show, but you know, things have just been busy for everybody going around.
All right, here is the last and final question, which is important. Will there be Sinister 3?
I can't even remember how the second one ended, so
I thought you didn't see the second one.
I don't remember if I started it or not. I don't remember.
Well, okay, here's the thing. Sinister 2 made $0. Okay, all kidding aside, it probably made nothing, but those movies take nothing to make, so it probably made 110% of its profit back. But when I did hear that Scott Derrickson wasn't doing Doctor Strange 2, I was like, oh yeah, he's coming back to Sinister 3. What is he doing now? Isn't he like doing like fucking like Thundercats the movie?
I don't know.
He's doing one of those Hanna-Barbera
I've been sucking
movies.
with keeping up with directors and stuff lately. The last couple of years, I mean, even actors and actresses, or they all called actors now. I forget how it goes. Yeah, I'm out of touch with those things lately.
All right. So you want to tell people what we're doing this episode?
In honor of Scott's 100th episode, how many years have we been doing this now?
This is our 10th year, you told me. You said the show started 2010.
Yeah. And then on top of that, the 10-year anniversary, we decided to watch a few things that came out that Scott has never watched before. Well, one of them Scott never watched, and the second one neither of us has watched. But in anticipation of ReZero, we did watch the Frozen Bonds OVA and the Princess Bride movie from 1987, since Scott has never seen it. And you've never watched Once Upon a Deadpool, right? So now you can watch Once Upon a Deadpool now that you know what the Princess Bride is. So we are going to...
wait, real quick. He is directing the Labyrinth sequel.
I need to rewatch the first one. I haven't seen that since I was a kid.
I've never seen it.
All right.
That's on Netflix?
I think it's on Netflix.
Maybe?
Probably.
Okay, continue.
But yeah, we are going to review those two movies. So it'll probably be a short episode, but I'm really interested in hearing Scott's thoughts, especially on Princess Bride.
Rob from Katie actually wrote in on Facebook about it. Yeah, he said he recently rewatched it with his kids, and he said even though it was hokey, it's still enjoyable. Would you agree with that?
I still enjoyed it. Yes, I still like it.
Yep. No, I thought I would just add that in. Rob from Katie.
Thank you for the feedback, and of course, listeners can find us on Facebook on our MwaP with the podcast. Also on Twitter, they can find what is it?
Merc
WA
WA
podcast. There
podcast.
you go. Jeez. And yeah.
So no, Labyrinth isn't on Netflix, but it is on Amazon, and you can rent it for $4.
Boo. I hate the fact that Amazon has things that you have to rent and stuff. Why even show it? But I guess they get a cut of it.
But I mean, for $4, that's not a lot. But then I saw a post today. It's like, yeah, but the amount of times I haven't said $5 is not a lot, I probably have spent $15,000. Anyway, so you want to take us into Princess Bride?
Why not?
Directed by Reiner. Screenplay by William Goldman, who also wrote the actual story, The Princess Bride. Starring Carrie Ells, Mandy Patinkin, Chris Sarandon, Christopher Guest, Wallace Shawn, Andre the Giant, Robert Wright, Peter Falk, Fred Savage, and Billy Crystal.
There we go. Who had a minor role, even though you probably won't even recognize him. Anyway, so yes, the Princess.
Budget of 16 million, box office 30.9 million.
I'm surprised they didn't try to make a sequel. Interesting.
They probably have, and it probably has failed many times.
Is it a Disney?
Oh, okay, here we go. Potential remake. Oh, well, this is potential remake, but still. In a September 2019 biographical article by Norman Lear in Variety, Sony Pictures Entertainment CEO Tony Visquero, speaking on Lear's works in interest of remaking them, stated very famous people whose names I won't use, but they want to redo The Princess Bride. The reaction of this via social media was very negative, with fans of the film assuring that a remake would be a bad idea in reference to the film Inconceivable. Els paraphrased the film saying, "There's a shortage of perfect movies in this world. It would be a pity to damage this one." Jamie Lee Curtis, Guest's wife, stated, "There is only one The Princess Bride, and it's William Goldman and Reiners."
True. Unless they make a sequel.
Sorry. Yep, continue.
So yeah, movie from 1987, and basically it's about two people who are each other's true love, Buttercup and Wesley. Buttercup is a higher standard, she's not noble, but she's higher placed than Wesley. He's her stable boy, and eventually they fall in love. In order to get money for their wedding, he goes off on a trip, and then she hears that the Dread Pirate, what was his name? You forgot. You don't know his name. All right. The Dread Pirate killed him, and since then she's just been kind of sad. Eventually, the prince of the land decides, by right, he gets to take a commoner as a wife, so he chooses Buttercup, and then
Dread Pirate
Roberts. There it is, Dread Pirate Roberts. So the prince decides to choose Buttercup as his bride. So of course now she becomes royalty. She is now a princess. Before they can get married, however, she's kidnapped by Vizzini, who's the Italian mastermind. His
he said Sicilian, but yeah,
mastermind. His hired swordsman, Inigo, and then we have Fezzik, who is Andre the Giant, his other muscle. So basically, these three decide to kidnap the Princess Buttercup and to kill her in order to start a war with the other nation. Things get thrown off course as the Dread Pirate Roberts ends up interfering with their plan. He ends up defeating Inigo in swordplay, which we'll talk about more in depth as we review it. He kind of outmuscles Fezzik by strangling him, knocking him out, and he outwits Vizzini, which we'll get more into, but he outwits him in a little game. So after that, he kind of reveals himself that it is Wesley who is Dread Pirate Roberts. Every so often, the pirates retires, basically, and someone else takes his place to keep the name alive. So he rescues Buttercup from these people, but however, the prince catches up to them. Buttercup agrees to go back with the prince if he spares Wesley, which he agrees to, but of course he lies. He does take Wesley away and has him tortured to death in a machine that literally takes the years off your life. Um, Fezzik and Inigo. Well, Inigo is actually looking for a six-fingered man who killed his father. Um, but due to the duel he had with Wesley, he kind of comes to respect him. So him and Fezzik end up rescuing the dead Wesley, brings him to a miracle maker who brings him back to life. The three of them go and rescue the princess from the prince, and they kind of live happily ever after. Is that a quick summation? Quick enough summation for you?
Sure. My favorite line in the movie was when Buttercup jumps off ship and starts swimming and no one can swim, and Andre the Giant is like, I can only doggy paddle. It's like you're 8 feet tall. You can just walk.
I mean, there was plenty of stuff in here that made me laugh that I completely forgot about. Like, Vizzini once says war is a prestigious line of work. I took little notes with like the names of places, the Cliffs of Insanity, like when they had to climb up the cliff. Go ahead.
Well, no, here's the question I'm going to ask, because this is like my honest thoughts when watching this. Was this supposed to be like a parody of fantasy films going on at the time?
I don't know.
You know, like, for instance, like Scary Movie. It's supposed to be a parody of all the scary movies. Because, like, remember when she pushes Wesley down the hill, and it just lingers on it. And then she goes down the hill, and it just lingers on the shot. Or George fight when they jump, like, down the steps or whatever, and they're like, oh, let me jump and do this amazing jump with this bar that's like 5 feet off the ground. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Is this supposed to be a parody film?
I mean, it definitely played up as comedy at times.
Well, I only ask because it's directed by Rob Reiner. And when you think of the Reiners, you also think of Mel Brooks, who would do films like this. So that's why I was just
even
curious.
When it comes to, like, later on in the movie, when you need the miracle workers and stuff, and just the stupid comedy they have there. But yeah, I would probably say there's a bit of parodying in it. I think probably one of my favorite parts of this thing is Inigo, with his introduction. You know, hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. I mean, my kids would go around the house saying that for a while after watching the movie. So that's one of my favorite lines.
Oh, this is to humiliate Perdink? Of course I'll help you. Why didn't you lead with that? It's like, I forget the line. When they were trying to bring him back from the dead. It's like, they made something that was a total lie. It's like, okay, try again. It's like, okay, it's like, my father was killed by a fingered man, and he's the only one who can help us. Go with your first line. That was more believable.
The first one was Wesley was a married man. His wife is sick and dying, and his children are starving, and he needs to go back to his family. You guys like, you're lying.
And then he tells the truth. It's like, go with the first one. Billy Crystal, for like the 5 minutes he was in the film, was the best. Who was wife? Do you know?
I do not
know. Because his wife was pretty funny too.
Well, here's the thing: were there any Jewish jokes in it? Anything you picked up on? No.
Not that I could pick up now. Oh, the best was, okay, so the wedding just happened. Okay. I know I keep on saying the best was, but like another great part was, so the king is walking her back, and she's like, and she kisses him on the cheek. Or it's like, what's that for? Because I'm going to kill myself tonight. Oh, you're such a lovely girl.
Senile. He's like senile. That's what I told my kid. I was like, he's senile. He doesn't get it.
Hey, you can turn your head. That's great. Is it really?
I mean, there's just some really dumb humor in here that you just have to love because it's just ridiculous. The sword fight between Wesley and Inigo was probably one of my favorite parts too, because they're sitting there fighting each other with their left hands, and Inigo's like, "Guess what? I'm not left-handed," and then he switches and they keep going at it, and Wesley's like, "I got something to tell you too. I'm not left-handed either," and he switches hands with his swords.
Oh, what up when he's climbing up the cliff? He's like, "Can you hurry up? I'm not gonna kill you."
Until you get to the top.
Well, if you're in such a hurry, how about you just throw me a rope? Oh, okay.
He's like, I don't trust you. What did he say? He's like, as my word as a Spaniard, you will not die till you reach the top. He's like, I know many Spaniards. I don't trust you. And he's like, on the grave of my father. And he's like, okay, throw the rope. And it's funny too, because during that fight, like I noticed this time that when they do their flips and stuff, if you look carefully on the floor, you can actually see like the mats that they have on there to pad their landing that's covered in sand. You could notice some of those cuts in there, and I think Nikolai loved pointing out like different times where they're using dummies as people, like when they're carrying people, when they actually have dummies and not the real person.
What about when he put the suction cups on his nipples to suck the life out of them? I mean, look, I know you're going to say this is a classic. I mean, I'm sitting here and I'm just like, this movie is so fucking stupid. Why do people love it so much? But there are moments which are just like, oh,
what about the fire swamp? And what did she call it? What was the name she used for the rodents? It's the what was it? Rodents of unusual size or unusual. It's like
Rodents of unusual size,
yeah, it's like Chud, like
ROUS.
ROUSs, and I'm like, what? It's like they just came out of nowhere with that stuff. Um, yeah, the fight with the rat was stupid, but it was funny. Life sucked away.
Wait, how did you know? How did you know he was going to switch the cups? I didn't. I just grew immunity to poison and poison both of
Yeah.
them.
So did you like the little challenges? Of course, the sword fight is probably my favorite. Um, him fighting Feznik. Feznik wanted to do a fair sportsmanship one-on-one fight with their fists.
It's like, let's fight like men. I'm fairly sure your hand alone could crush me. But okay.
And then of course him and Vizzini, there was one of the cups was supposed to be poisoned, and Vizzini was supposed to pick which one was poisoned, so that was their match of wits. And he just goes on this long damn tirade of why he would choose this cup, and back and forth. Um, I thought that was funny.
Or it's like, Father, please disguise me with this sword. And it points to the tree. It's like, God damn it, where did he ever be? And the door opens. But once that door opens, I'm like, okay, yeah, bullshit that Andre the Giant can fit in that tiny hole. The man took up 3 seats. When he would get on a plane, he would have to lie down in all 3 seats and his would still hang in the aisle. 7'4", I think. Yeah, no, I'm just saying he took up because he was just so fucking tall. He couldn't actually sit. When he would fly, he would have to lie down.
Mostly dead versus all dead. I put that note on there for Billy Crystal's line. I forgot who his wife was, but I didn't recognize her. But all that old makeup. I mean, the makeup was pretty good too. The practical effects were pretty good. There was very few of it. Who was the albino? I didn't recognize that person at all.
What was his name?
I think they just called him the albino. I don't think he had a name.
Oh, Mel Smith.
I have no clue who that is.
Okay. On Wikipedia.
And we never talked about the As You Wish.
He was mainly like a British actor. A lot of the stuff I'm looking at, I never heard of.
So that's that. What did you think about how they stormed the castle? How they actually got in to save Buttercup?
They just set him on fire.
Yeah. And then, what about the bluff? So by the time Wesley gets to face off with the prince, of course they just brought him back to life, so he's barely able to move. And he makes this big old long threat to the prince in order to get the prince to just surrender and sit down so Buttercup can tie him up. So I guess that was anticlimactic for a lot of people, but to me, it was just one of those silly things that they can only do in one of these comedic movies, you know?
Okay, so to answer your question, uh, it's a Fox. It was made by Fox, so that's why it's on Disney Plus. It wasn't made by Disney. And I just looked this up. Apparently, I never knew this. Rob Reiner also directed Stand By Me.
I didn't know that either.
Which I have never seen.
Are you kidding me?
Nope. Wait, I know, which is crazy because I love Stephen King.
Wow. Okay.
I'll get around to it. I actually have I got a copy of The Crow from Netflix, so I'm gonna actually watch that for the first time.
Videos from... I forgot they had DVDs until you just mentioned it.
Yeah, I still do. I still do the streaming and DVD package because, hey, Corwin, guess what? Labyrinth is $4.99 to rent on Amazon, or I could just get the DVD from Netflix.
Yeah, well, more power to you.
And many more other DVDs every month. So it's still you know.
I wonder how much longer they're gonna do.
Okay,
that.
so they've been doing it for like 20 years. I'm just
curious if they're eventually gonna phase it out and be like, next year we're gonna stop. Well, then again, they got all these DVDs. Why not keep making money off of them?
I mean, you'll be. I mean, I could probably find the statistic, but I bet you there's probably where you go to places where there's not great internet. I bet you people still do it.
Very true. And I've got one other thing written on here. When Buttercup was about to commit suicide and stab herself in the chest, Wellesley makes one of my favorite lines. He says, tells her not to do it because there's a shortage of perfect breasts in this world.
Oh, so I was going to get to the references because, for me, like, now I'm starting to see where all these, other things like Inconceivable, I just knew that from Adventure Time.
I've seen Adventure Time, but I don't.
I didn't know. Oh, I forget the character's name, but the guy with the lemon for his head, he would go Inconceivable. Yeah. So, I'll just say, or it's like, hello, my name is Ingeno Montagna. It's like, prepare to kill my father, prepare to die. I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know that was from.
Where did you see that one too?
That has been referenced in like 20 million shows. I
didn't know that either.
And movies. Yeah, it's like at this rate, I might as well say, I saw it on The Simpsons or SNL. Yeah, no, it's just kind of crazy to watch this for the first time and be like, oh yeah, that's where that joke came from.
It's a classic line in my household.
And then well, you forgot to mention the other thing about how the movie actually starts with Fred Savage.
So yes, it is bookended by a grandfather reading Fred Savage, his grandson, who's sick in bed, the story of the Princess Bride.
And then as his grandfather leaves, he's like, maybe you can come back tomorrow and read again. And he says, as you wish.
Which is, so at the beginning of the movie, when Buttercup talked to Wesley as he was the stable boy doing all the things around the property, she would always give him commands, and the only thing he would ever say is, as you wish. And then, at one point she realizes he's saying, I love you, which is kind of when she realized she loved him. So that was a pretty cool scene too. And
oh shit! Do you know who the grandfather was?
I do not. I did look up his name when I watched it, but I didn't recognize him.
He was Columbo.
Makes sense.
You have no
No, I
idea
remember
who that
Columbo,
is.
and something in the back of my head said something detective, but yeah.
Oh, one more. He will always. Yeah, he will always. And one more thing, and then solve the case.
Yes. But
Yeah, but overall, I mean, like, look, I watched this. Okay, I'm glad I watched it. Will I ever
yes,
again?
yes, you
Probably
will.
not.
You will watch it with your children one day.
Okay.
So how does it rate on the Scott scale?
I gave it 1 out of 5
You wish.
stars. It wasn't that good. Maybe if I saw it as a kid, I would have the rotating glasses and be like, "Oh, this is great." But watching it now, that's why I actually like, was this supposed to be a parody film? Because there was a lot of shit in here, which I'm like, I don't get it. Like, I don't think that, like, as your son pointed out, he could see the
Hmm.
mats for the stunts. I don't think that was a case of, oh, this will be funny if you can make out the mats. I think no, that was the legit
Well, I
production
mean,
value
of its
of
time,
its
exactly. But
time.
he's seen it quite a few times. At least the older one has seen it quite a few times already. That he picks up on these things. But it was funny. I think it was funny. It had some good action. Yes, it has a ridiculousness factor on it. The eels are really funny looking as well. Um, but as a family movie, it's great. I think it's a great movie for the kids and to watch as a family.
All right. And so you want to get into Frozen
Why not?
Bond?
ReZero, starting over from zero.
So did you watch the first OVA,
I did not.
Memory Snow? So you were probably utterly confused in the post-credit scene.
No, the post-credit scene did not happen. That happened during the series. That's like after their date or before their date.
No, that's from the Memory Snow OVA.
Oh, okay. So then, yeah, I guess I missed that.
Yeah, in the Memory Snow OVA, they had a like snowman building ice sculpting contest.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why you should have watched it. Have you watched the director's cut?
I have not, but I did see a site that kind of listed the differences, and so far, like the first three or four, there's very negligible differences.
Yeah, okay, Corwin, you literally need to watch. This isn't like, oh, it's gonna change. No, no, you literally need to watch
Let me write this down.
the director's episode 13. They
The
call it,
last
which
one.
is like, yeah, the
Okay,
two
the two
last
last
episodes.
episodes.
Because it ends with a scene that literally sets up the next season, and you will be lost. You'll be like, wait, when did this
Okay.
happen? All right, so we are going to ReZero Frozen Bond. This is a prequel for the most part. It starts off with Amelia. She is doing her daily routine, uh, daily routine of walking around this frozen forest when she comes across what's called a Yeti. I forget what the actual name was.
Yeah, it's like a Yeti.
Uh, a, a Yeti that was basically terrorizing this family. Amelia uses her spirit powers, which is ice powers, to basically take out the, in which she does, but in the process, her ice powers go a little bit haywire and also start growing on the father. The daughter starts screaming, "Get away from us, you witch! You're the witch! You are the witch!" In which Amelia just walks away. She wakes up the next day, and we see Amelia is basically doing daily chores, which is first she takes a bath in the river, and then she's wiping down all these ice sculptures. And you're going, okay, whatever. You have no idea what they are yet. Uh, and then she's cleaning around the house, and then she realizes that she has no food left. So she decides to go to a tree in which she grabs a bunch of crystals. She takes the crystals, walks into town, in which everybody basically scatters away because they know her as the witch of the, what is it? The witch of the mountains, I think they call her, or snow witch of the forest.
Force, but they used one of the sins, I think, at one point too.
Well, no. She
Envy,
looks
yeah.
like the Witch of Envy.
Yeah, but then eventually call her the
Yeah.
Forest.
She looks. Yeah. So, she goes in. She's in town. Goes to the local merchant. Hands him a bunch of crystals. He, in returns, gives her fruits and nuts. In which he then notices that her shoes are in shitty conditions and says, "Would you like some shoes?" She says, "Oh yes, that would be great." She comes back and then she's all happy because she's like, "I said 2 sentences today." The next morning she wakes up and she is greeted by Puck. We didn't find out. I know we didn't. Is this when Puck reveals who the frozen people are yet, or no? Well, no, it doesn't happen way at the end.
He doesn't tell her anything about the people, I don't think.
No, she knows what the people are. So, okay, well, whatever. So, Puck does some expositions and basically says, "Oh yeah, all these frozen sculptures, those are the elves." In which I had to sit there and go, "Yeah, we've never seen any elves in this show." In which
I maybe missed that part because she I don't even think she thought she was an elf either. I thought she was human, so
considering people keep screaming at her she's the witch, she has the elf
pointed ears. They
ears.
didn't say elf ears. They just said pointed ears and
Oh. Well, no, she knew that it was her people.
Okay. I didn't remember that part, but that makes sense.
Well, whatever. Okay, we're skipping ahead, but she knew that the frozen people were her people. Anyway, so basically, one day Amelia, as she's doing her daily routines, she comes upon this this village that has actually been run down. She then notices there was another Yeti trail. As she's walking away because she doesn't feel like fighting the Yeti, she's a bunch of demi-humans. The demi-humans tell her this is where the demi-humans are like, "Oh, you can bring the other elves." And that's when she knows, "Oh, you mean the other people? They're frozen in ice?" Anyway. And then this is also where we get some info dump. It's like, yeah, apparently there was a war between the demi-humans and the elves, and the demi-humans won.
Wait, the humans? The
humans? No, the elves.
Okay, I thought it was just the humans and the demi-humans, but okay, go ahead.
No, it was demi-humans versus elves, and the demi-humans won.
Okay, I'm with you.
Okay, so Amelia decides that if this is the only way she can make sure that the villagers will be safe, even though she totally hate her, she's like, "Fine, I'll go with you." But then the Yeti shows up. She uses her power on the Yeti, but once again, her powers go wire. That's when Puck shows up. Puck, basically, Amelia passes out, and then Puck kills all the other guys except for the leader, and basically tells the leader, "Yeah, I'm letting you live. Get the fuck out of here." And the guy runs with his tail between his legs, literally. Amelia goes into town, in which she meets up with the shopkeeper, finds out that it was the shopkeeper that ratted her out. He did it because they threatened the town. So Amelia says, "Look at me." It's like, just look at me. Just realize that, don't ever come to the fucking forest. And she just walks off. And that's where, you were right. That's where she got the name that she is the witch, the snow witch of the forest. Meanwhile, Puck is chasing a red spirit, which at first I was like, wait, is that Roswell? Because we keep seeing fire. Did you think that at first?
I didn't think it was Roswell. No? I just didn't know what it was at first, especially when we see in the village that the guy that Puck lets escape gets burned up.
Well, yeah, that's later. But during most parts, Puck is talking to this spirit, basically telling this red spirit to fuck off and stop coming around here. Then at one point, so the demi-human goes to this mobster, which, I don't know, all mobsters back in the medieval times. And then Puck shows up because apparently the guy ratted the demi-human out to Puck. And Puck's just like, no, seriously, get the fuck out of here or I will eat you alive. And then as the guy walks out, he just gets obliterated by fire. And that's when I went, oh yeah, what's his face is Roswell's power's fire. I bet you that's Roswell. So then one Puck says it's like, hey, you're gonna have to leave this forest one day. I should probably teach you how you make contractual bonds with other spirits. Which she does. One day when she's out with the other spirits, she comes across a man beast, which that's awesome.
Yeah, with the tail.
The dog with the dragon
wings.
tail and the giant ass horn. Yeah, that thing was so cool. And then that thing just got eaten alive by Black. So Amelia, with her new frozen spirits, they freeze the black venom. She takes a little piece of it away with her so she can show Puck, just to be like, hey, this thing happened. Puck sees him. Puck goes, yeah, that's really, really bad. As a matter of fact, it's still alive. And the thing breaks out. Puck kills it. And Puck's like, yeah, that thing is still,
dangerous
out there. So as Puck goes, does his nightly patrols, he comes across the fire spirit, in which we Melchior, let's just call that. I don't know how you pronounce it, and it doesn't help that this is only in Japanese. So we find out that it is a horse spirit. So a fire spirit that looks like a horse. That's the best way to describe this.
But it's supposed to be it keeps the balance, supposedly, or something like that, it says.
And it basically says, that I know that the witch has been reborn and it's here. And Puck's like, no, it's not. It's only me. So one day, Amelia decides she's going to go. Well, no. So Puck and Melchior start fighting. She decides to go out to see what all the commotion is. As she goes there, she just sees that the black venom is just devouring the forest. Like an ocean. Yeah, it's like a raging avalanche at this point. So she tries to use her power to contain it, which she does, so she's like, okay, everything's good. And then just out of nowhere, Melchior just fucking drops a giant ass fire beam on Amelia, and when spirits use all of its remaining energy to protect her. Amelia's like pleading, why are you doing this? Why are you after me? And we're just like, you are a half demon. And Amelia just says Puck's name. Puck shows up with barely any energy. Puck says, okay, I'm going to try to defeat Melchior. When he tries to do, Puck just gets obliterated by
you think he wins it first, and then as he's talking, gets shot from behind.
He starts fading away, and then Puck, hey, Amelia, you're going to have to make a contract with me. Because this is...
So stop right there, because they didn't explain the contract part in this movie at all. And at the very beginning of it, the beginning of the movie, you see some lines where it's telling somebody that basically he can't interfere majorly, and if he does, he will lose his sense of self and his memories, right? All right. Explain the contract.
Well, no. Okay. That's not the contract.
No, I know that's not the contract.
The words that you're seeing. And I don't want to... Do you know who's saying those
I believe
words?
I do, but let's just talk about magic and the contract at this point in time, how that works. Can we talk about that without spoiling anything? Because I thought everybody can make a contract with the spirits.
Well, you have to know how to make a contract, but yeah, anyone can make a contract.
Explain the contract.
No, the contract is just the spirit will protect you.
Okay.
I don't understand the contract. Really.
I thought you did. I don't know. That's why I was asking, because I wanted clarification on that.
Oh no, it's really not a contract. It just means I'm going to be your own personal spirit. But in return, So Puck is Amelia's own personal spirit, but in return, Puck, it's like a give situation. For Puck to now exist, he feeds off of Amelia's magic energy.
Okay.
Do you understand? So it's basically, you don't even know Pokemon, but it's basically saying that Puck is Amelia's Pokemon.
Okay. Because at first I was thinking that without the contract, he would have fallen to that stuff we were talking about before, the negative effects. But then as the thing played on, I'm starting to realize that no, it's just him interfering. Period. No matter whether he has a contract or not. I thought the contract was something important, but
No, just having a contract is just a way. Having a contract is basically kind of like the way. Okay, it's basically saying having a contract means it is literally a contract. Like, hey, I'm going to be your personal assistant, but in return, you have to give me your magical energy.
Okay.
Instead of just saying, yo, I'm going to steal this spirit and I'm going to make it my slave. No, it doesn't work like that. That's why when they make the contract, Puck turns into giant Puck. Because he is just his true form, because he is just feeding off Amelia's mana, which is just magic energy. A contract is just literally just a contract. It just means, hey, I'm going to work for you now. But in return, you give me your energy.
Got it.
But remember also from what we know from the TV series, from the actual show, is he only works 9 to 5.
He has to rest.
He has to rest. But he can come back after 5 p.m., but only in emergencies.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, so when they make the contract, Puck becomes his true form, which is one of the 4 End Beast. And Puck just goes to town on fucking Malakir. It
kind of sucked that they didn't show the actual fight, the final fight between him and Malakir, but do we know anything else about the 4 beasts?
I do, but I cannot.
Did we see one of them? Was the will thing that we saw? Was that one of them? Okay.
No.
Got you.
We have seen one of the beasts so far. One of the other beasts. One of the other. That's all I will say. We have seen one of the other beasts multiple times. Okay. That's all I will say. Anyway, so Puck wins. Oh, and this is where Puck's like, "Hey, can I call you Leela?"
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then I forgot to mention. So the whole time throughout this whole entire movie, Amelia has been having dreams of when she first woke up from the ice.
She doesn't remember anything before that.
Right. Anyway, so as the sun is setting, Puck and Amelia are just watching the sunset on top of a mountain, and that is when Amelia's like, "I think of you as a father," and Puck says, "It's funny because that's the first thing you ever said to me." At which Amelia gets a flashback, in which we see a naked Amelia child, which we assumed this is when she first woke up, when she broke out of her ice sculpture. And Puck is like, "So you know I'm here. I'm always going to look after you. I'm always going to protect you." So then we cut back to the cliff time. So, Puck and Amelia's like, "Yeah, we're like family, and, you can refer to me as your daughter." And they just watch a sunset. And
so here's the thing now. He said he was looking for her. He was sorry for leaving her alone for so long. So are we supposed to believe that he knew her before this freezing happened?
Yes, I'll say that. Yes. Once again, I don't want to spoil it.
And this has all been revealed in the manga already. Kind of the story the stuff that.
The
books.
The books. The light novels. All right. Yes. Wait, I haven't read all the stuff, like, once again, fan translation. I haven't actually fully read them. I just know like plot, the plot
details.
details.
Okay.
The one thing is, the movie did not cover when she met Roswaal.
Okay, yeah, because she still was out in the forest at the end of this one.
So,
yes.
And then the post-credit scene goes back to Memory Snow, in which they were trying to with the
keep the ice from melting.
Rem, and Subaru were trying to keep the ice sculpture from melting. That was from the previous day when the town folks came and they all made ice sculptures and snowmen. And Subaru was like, yeah, I did this because for some odd reason you felt sad when you were seeing the ice melt away. And ice, what is the exact quote? He's like, ice will always melt. Like, there's not ice that will not melt away. So, do you want me to go into the Roswaal story? Because I have no idea if this season's the next 24 episodes will cover it or not.
We can go into a little bit, but before that, I did realize that this all these people that are frozen in the forest in this winter that seems to be forever winter for this forest, are they hinting at that it's something that she caused?
I do not know. I kind of want to think so, but then they also said that okay, first off, unless this is for the 12 people listening, don't be dicks and spoil it to us. So if you're screaming going, no, this is what it is, we have no idea. So we're speculating because we literally don't know. And don't be dicks and spoil it to us. Because wasn't it Puck said the line like they're just sleeping and one day they'll melt and wake up? I think.
Remember that part. I don't know.
Yeah, Puck said that. But okay, so the thing is, when they met Roswaal, it's 7 years later. Roswaal shows up. Puck and Roswaal basically fight it out because they're like, what? Because Roswell's like, oh, hey, you're the witch of the, you're just no witch of the mountains. And Puck's like, fuck you if you're one of these assholes who think you're going to come here and try to kill the witch. So they start fighting like the typical, when two heroes meet for the first time, they fight each other. And it's just a misunderstanding. Roswell's like, oh, no. I'm here to help you guys. Like, this is a beneficial thing. And Roswell says, I can defrost all these people, but in return, you have to come with me and help me. And Amelia agrees, and since they're obliged by the contract, Puck has to follow them.
Okay.
That's the abridged version.
Okay.
So I know what's going on with Roswaal, but I'm not going to say anything. But I'm going to ask you, and this isn't spoilers, the question I'm just asking you. Do you think Roswaal is good or bad?
I don't know. I want to believe that he's good, but I don't know. I'm withholding judgment still because he seems shady sometimes, but I want him to be good. I want him to be as he seems.
Oh, and can I also say, since Roswaal is in this, in the present day segments at the very end.
Yeah, you don't see him, but you see like his cape or his back or something.
And he has like one line, and I'm just thinking, poor Ray Chase, like he would be dubbing one line again. Because remember when I met him and he signed my copy? Roswaal, I remember this. I only recorded 3 lines for this character. Yeah, no, that's all I'll say about Roswaal. Yeah, I cannot wait till the season you start seeing all. I will say this, Corwin, it gets fucking crazy.
Okay, I mean, it's already gotten crazy, but it's gonna get crazier, which is scary.
Oh, I mean, that he meets one of the he doesn't meet Satella, but he meets one of the witches. Yeah, you're gonna enjoy that shit.
Okay. There's 4 of them, right?
So.
Yes.
What, witches? Well, no, there's the 7 deadly sins. So there's 7 witches.
There is 7
Satella,
witches. I thought there was 4. So there's 7 witches and the 7 sins.
Well, no, the witches represent the 7 sins.
Separate. Okay.
No. You're thinking of the man beasts which represents sins.
Okay.
So a witch had a beast. Like, so what was it? I think Gluttony was the whale, if I remember. Sloth were the dogs. But there's a witch behind those creatures.
I got you.
Yeah. But you have to remember, Satella consumed most of the witches.
Got you.
Satella is the half-elf, silver hair, purple eyes
and how
witch.
many witches are left then, besides Satella then?
Well, Satella is, quote, dead.
But she consumed how many of them?
That's where you're getting confused that there's 4 witches left.
So there, besides Satella, so she consumed 2 other witches. How many witches did she actually consume before she died?
3, I believe.
She makes 4. So that means there's 3 other witches out there besides Satella who's supposed to be dead.
Satella consumed... So the witch that we saw in the teaser, she's greed, I believe. She's envy or greed. I forget. I get her and Satella confused. Satella consumed 4 other witches, which is 5, I believe. So Satella's 1 witch. It's Witch of Greed and then 2 other witches.
So there's 2. There's 2 more out there then. Okay. That we haven't seen.
That we haven't seen, so to speak. And remember, again, I'm going off of what I remember fan translations here, people. As Corwin said, scanlations. So, but what did you think of this movie overall?
It's a good... Well, I haven't watched all the director's cut, and I think...
Well, and also, this is a legit movie, so before where they would have to censor the violence, oh my god, you see people's arms torn off and blood everywhere.
I think I was just a little bit let down that we didn't get to see a big fight at the end. They kind of just squared off and then they cut to the aftermath of the battle.
Yeah, it's also only 76 minutes long.
But no, I enjoyed it. I haven't watched I'm not too crazy about watching the director's cut because it just feels like it's retreading the same ground.
Just watch the quote-unquote... You can literally just watch the epilogue. That's all you really need to watch. It's just the epilogue ending scene, which you can probably just go on YouTube and watch, where they just literally had a scene that explains when you go into the next season, you'll be like, oh, okay, it's a good thing that I saw that. So I know what the fuck's happening. Before I start
the second season, I will probably... So I want to watch at least the last episode of the director's cut. So you recommend the last 2 episodes or just the last episode of the director's cut?
The last episode of the director's cut, which is technically 2 episodes combined.
So I'll just watch those before I start the new season, so I'm ready for it. Because I was thinking that there's like a lot of extra stuff they added to the director's cuts, but as I said, I started reading about like the first 3 or 4, and they're just really minor things that they did. They extended a little bit of scenes here and moved the credits here, and it's kind of really minor things at first, so I didn't even finish reading the article.
Right. Well, that's the one thing I do like about White Fox, which is the animation studio, that when they go back and do shit like that, at least what they're cleaning up, it's reasonable things. Like, they're not going in there and really changing drastic shit. They're not George Lucas saying special editions.
Shot first. All right, so...
Oh, we need what are they called? Dewbacks? The giant lizards that the stormtroopers ride?
I don't know their names. What about them?
No, remember? We'll just add like 20 of them to Mos Eisley. Like, we don't need this shit. What White Fox does is they can go, we didn't like how this scene, like, you could totally see in this movie where there's just shots that are just like when they're talking and it's just on Puck. Mm-hmm. Like, and it's just sitting there for like 10 seconds. You're like, okay, can we do something else? Like, I don't know, maybe just take the scene and show us the sunset more. Like, why are we just focusing on Puck for like 10 seconds?
Yeah.
And that's the thing I like about White Fox. If they would go back to this movie, yeah, they would totally be like, yeah, that scene dragged out too much. Let's cut it and maybe like add in like a quick angle shot or something. because they did it with Steins Gate Zero, which is like they're like, okay, yeah, we didn't like how we shot the scene, which is two characters are talking from above, so they literally read the whole entire scene again, so that the camera would go back and forth between the two characters talking, instead of just an overhead shot. Because what most of our listeners don't know, when they do anime shows, it's kind of like how they do South Park, which is they have a week to do an episode. They don't like draw the shit out. Yeah,
it's probably a money thing too. Once they have a little bit more money behind them and they have more time, they can fix things like that. So that makes a little sense.
Yeah, but when things air, it's so
tight turnaround.
They have to pump them out. There was a show, I think it's called like My Sister's a Writer or something, and the animators hated the show so much they would add shit in the background that says like, please forgive us, we don't like this show either. Like they would draw notes on the refrigerator and shit like that. It's like, please save us, stop watching it so we can stop animating. Sorry. But yeah, no, I love this movie. I thought it was definitely better than Memory Snow.
Okay.
Memory Snow, it's like, it's not bad, but it answers some questions. I totally forget what the questions that it answers. In Memory Snow, we, at the very end, we see, what's his face? Reinhardt.
Okay.
With Felt. Remember, like, how we never saw Reinhardt or Felt until, like, episode 12? It was like, oh yeah, remember those two characters and the bartender? In Memory Snow, they kind of like show scenes as like, oh, what have they been doing since we last saw them? And before they go to the capital.
Okay.
All right. So next episode, everybody, we will be doing Deadpool 5. And we will also be doing a Passive Vision. Do you want to do 4 episodes of Evangelion, or you just want to keep it to 2? Okay. And we will also be doing Monty's predictions.
That time again?
Next episode.
It's going to be hard with one book.
Yeah, it's... Oh, no. You know what'll be also funnier? I can't wait to see the predictions we made, because we made those in the pre-pandemic world. So I can just imagine if you and I did something like at Comic-Con, at E3, at these massive conventions where people will gather and don't have to worry about breathing on each other. Remember those times, Corwin? Remember when we could go to the movie theaters?
Yeah, I'm gonna miss that the most.
Remember when we could fucking walk around the
without
streets?
A mask on?
Look, I don't care about wearing a mask. Remember when we could walk around the street and not worry about dying from a fucking pandemic?
Yeah. So what we live in now. All right.
I fucking hate this one.
I gotta get out of here, so let's wrap it up.
All right. I don't think I have the show notes
I've got it. Oh, no, I don't. I guess I closed it.
Well, you can follow me on Twitter at ZombieHighX23. You can follow Corwin on Twitter at EMPcast. Remember, if you're going to draw furry porn, you have to make sure you also send it to EMPcast.
Negative, no.
Other than that, good night, everyone.
Boy, look at here. Oh.
Hey y'all,
Man,
this is Outlaw, and you're listening to the Merc Report, Episode 7, March 2011.
Isn't that crazy, Inez?
I hate being called that. The name is Outlaw.
I am your host, Corwin Kroll, and the Merc Report is your monthly wrangling of Marvel Comics' popular Deadpool character. In this episode, we'll basically go over all his books for the month of March 2011. Well, before we jump into this month's books, I'd like to take a moment to reminisce on the past. A few years ago, I started listening to this podcast called Comic Addiction. Ended up participating on their forums, back and forth with the people on the podcast, and became really good friends with them. And before I knew it, I was actually a member of the podcast and doing the podcasting thing on a weekly basis. After some participation on our forums, I had an avid listener who was more than enthused to join me for an episode of the Merc Report. So without further ado, we have Scott Bechtel.
Hey now.
Welcome to the show, Scott.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
Yes. So now that you are actually on here, I just want to make a preface by saying, listeners, if you like Scott a little bit too much and you plan on trying to replace me, then he's going to be gone off the show.
And I want to apologize to the listeners that this show is going to go downhill from now on.
So, Scott, we all know you are an avid Deadpool fan, especially if they paid attention to the forums. Give us a little bit of your background on Deadpool. When did you start reading, the Pool? When did you figure out how awesome he was?
My first encounter with Deadpool was I was a huge Cable fan from the 90s cartoon show, and they just introduced the Cable and Deadpool series, so I was like, oh, okay, I'll pick this up, and I knew a little bit about Deadpool. I knew, people hated him because, he was just, I'm breaking the fourth wall, look at me, I'm funny, and I picked it up, and I was just like, okay, I'm done with this character. He's positively insane, like me. All right.
Are you certifiable, though?
Oh, yeah. Ever since then, it's just been like, if Deadpool's in Moon Knight, I pick that up. If Deadpool is in, Mary Jane loves Deadpool, I'll pick that up. Ryan Reynolds, I scream when I see him because he's Deadpool.
You know what? Let's hold on to that Mary Jane, because we might be able to pitch something like that to Marvel. Let me write that down. Anyway. So yeah, let's just get into some real quick news. As we were chatting before, they have picked a director for the Deadpool movie. What is his name? I don't have anything prepared for the news. I just know a few things off the top of my head. Remember the dude's name?
Tim Miller.
Tim Miller, and he was actually one of the visual creators for X-Men 1 and 2, right? Yep. So, hopefully he has some kind of directorial chops that made them choose him for it. But at the very least, we still have Ryan Reynolds, which the girls will love.
Until, DC decides making more Green Lantern films.
Well, I think they have him down for the second one already, but Deadpool's supposed to be squeezed in between 1 and 2, but we'll see how it goes. He seems dedicated to it, so I'm pretty happy about that.